Podcast initiated.
We're coming in loud and clear.
All right, sweet. Everyone liked me starting off the podcast that one time, detailing a way that you ruined my career that week. Mm-hmm. So we're continuing that trend. This week, you ruined my career by encouraging us to take the dog out for a long walk this morning instead of watching YouTube for another hour.
That is true. I did do that.
So, obviously, if I were to continue to sit on the couch and watch YouTube, whatever we were watching, I would have gained an hour more worth of insight as to what would be like a valuable YouTube topic to make a video about. And it's a research, that I could have done. But you demanded
our dogs need exercise. We need exercise, one.
Yeah, and hey, that might be true, but guess what? It still affects my career.
We also, I've really learned that when we're on the couch watching YouTube, research is the last. It's definitely not.
Yeah, it's a lot of just fucking being
garbage.
saggy on the couch.
It's like garbage.
Yeah,
content.
it's worse than reality TV.
Yeah, it
is. You can't even claim that it's educational.
No. I think it's the opposite. I think it's like
fucking
ruining
gutter content.
So one time we sat on the couch for maybe 3 hours is a bit dramatic, but at least 1 hour of us watching those simulation cars.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's like children's content. It's like cars in I think Beam NG, these realistic car simulator games.
Yeah.
Where people just set up scenarios of a train driving into a fucking hole. But it's very stimulating on the human mind.
Well, it also keeps repeating the scenario. But it adds something different, slightly different.
Dude, those are good videos, to be honest. They're not, yeah.
But it was fuck. We couldn't stop watching.
What is that? Baby... It's kind of like Cocomelon for adult. Well, I shouldn't say for adults, because I don't know how
people with ADHD more like.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like a more boiled down Mr. Beast video.
Yeah. Oh, we should address this. Oopsie. So there's a baby on the screen. Don't worry about it. It's not important.
That's
we brought
our child.
Yeah.
This is us hard launching our child.
We brought in a screen. It does
launching our child.
It rotates this way, which is sick as fuck.
So you can see our child.
So we can. It could be. It's very Star Trek. To me, when we had, well, I guess no, it's very 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah,
having someone call in.
Yeah, and your partner's there.
Right, exactly. Maybe we can. Oh, that'd be a great way to bring in 90 Day guests.
True.
Is you just have them fucking call in, and we're like, yeah, we don't want to.
We contacted Jasmine, and Jasmine messaged Ian back. Mm-hmm. Jasmine from 90 Day Fiance, and that was fucking. I feel like
we'll see. We'll see. It's cool. It was a real person, real response, but the real response was
talk to my manager.
Talk to my publicist.
Yeah.
And it's every time I hear that, I'm like, no, thank you. Yeah. This is going to make it hard. Right. So.
But imagine for a second that was our child.
Yeah, I mean, all babies look like that kind of shit.
I don't think so.
It's just not.
That's a distressed child.
I'm trying to think about baby appearance, and I'm pretty sure it is there isn't what makes a baby look nice or pleasant is it's got to be doing a lot, right?
No.
Yeah, I think it does.
What do you mean?
Most babies just look like that because they don't have any outstanding features at that age. You can't tell. Babies get mixed up because there's not defining characteristics in a baby. They're a fucking mushy blob.
Okay, let me put it this way. If you take professional photos of your baby, and this is the best face that
yeah, I mean, this one, I think it's a prank, more of a prank photo. We'll get to it. Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. It's just the face that the child is making.
Yeah, it's a little bit bewildered.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's that with Anisa ruining my career.
Sorry.
You don't have to be sorry.
You didn't even explain what the point of that TV is for.
Oh, true. Yeah, we didn't.
Well, I mean, I think it goes without saying. It's a TV
we want to add videos.
To put the baby on it?
No, okay. So we are going to connect it to the computer eventually, so you can have a crisp, high quality image
Picture of the baby.
or anything that we put here. It's
Not
for
just
content.
images.
Okay, fuck it.
Videos too.
We're doing it so we can watch TikToks, and we don't
There
have
you
to do
go.
this podcast anymore. We can just sit here and we could scroll TikTok.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
But it's a nice TV to absorb content. I have a couple of things I want to use this TV for specifically, but we'll get to that when we get to it. For now, it's just a placeholder. Like,
this baby.
yeah, and when we have guests, we'll just fucking kick this baby out of here and bring in the guest.
Which we're working on too,
Yeah, we are.
which is exciting.
All right, it is time to ombuds.
Oh, I've been meaning to ask actually. What does OMBUDS mean?
I think it means like to set the record straight or like add clarifying info when you get it to like topics that you previously discussed.
Can I get the country of origin, or wait, what's the word for knowing where it came from?
Etymology.
Yeah, can I get the etymology?
Beats me.
You don't know?
No.
You just say it because you heard it?
Yeah, well, it's a real thing.
I thought you made it up.
No, I didn't make.
Oh.
No, this is a 100% legit real.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Ian Googled it to make sure that he was saying
Gotcha.
the right word.
It sounds like an Ianism.
It
kind of
does, which is why I think the country of origin is America.
I keep on thinking you guys are saying about to say "No Country for Old Men" or something. I don't know why. We're bringing up country of origin for that. It was just strange.
Have you seen No Country for Old Men?
Yeah, it's a great film.
Okay.
I love it. All right, so we're going to start off strong. A ton of people mentioning, Dane, I use a subscription feed. Shorts don't show up on those, and channels I do subscribe to don't shit out shorts.
Okay, I did notice that recently. That must be a very recent thing, though.
Yeah. Just
good
a
that
lot
they
of
did
people
that.
sort of saying, like, hey, like, it might come as a shock to you guys, but we use the subscription feed. So there was, like, a fair amount of people just saying, like, I'm a subscription feed user. I don't know. I imagine they're, like, literate enough on YouTube to not mix up the terminology, because I thought when I would first, like, read the first two, I was like, oh, maybe they just mean they're recommended.
No,
but-
I think that people actually use the not interested, because
feed,
people were saying
yeah.
like, if you like put not interested, it doesn't give you that in your subscription.
In your
feed anymore.
subscription feed. Interesting.
So you can like actually curate. your-
Properly curated.
Properly
That's
curated.
cool. We also had several new Dane haters.
Yes.
Yes.
There was one person who was trying to buck the trend, and they said Dane is so fucking hot. Holy shit! Holy shit!
Oh crap.
No.
So
No.
Dane lover.
yeah, we're gonna try to change that over time.
No, I do appreciate it, though. Thank you.
And then we had a lot of people correcting us on the Trisha lore because we were uncertain. Anisa appropriately said that she thought that
Yeah.
a baby was announced and
Yeah.
possibly named.
I'm sorry that I guessed that Trisha would name a child Bourbon.
Well, I mean, okay.
Wait, were people upset about that?
No,
Oh.
I just want to put that out there because I feel like if I was having a child and somebody
someone
was
thought
like,
that.
oh, she's gonna name it something like Lucifer
Right.
or something, I'd be like, that's cringe.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just more
Right,
of a me
right.
thing. I'm sorry, Trisha, that I thought you would name your child Bourbon.
But yeah, they said her new son is going to be named Elvis.
Which makes total
Yeah.
sense. I feel like if you put that on a multiple choice,
Yeah. That would be easy to figure out.
yeah,
I
it's
think.
a good name. I like Elvis.
Is she a fan of Elvis Costello?
I really thought you were genuinely going to ask the correct question, so that really threw
Who
me
is
off.
Elvis
See,
Costello?
that's what makes it funny.
Yeah, it got me that time. Elvis Costello is a Dane help
He's a rock star.
for what? But for
What band? I don't remember.
yeah,
Okay.
I can't
He's like a
remember.
guitarist for some band.
Yeah, I can't remember.
And then we just had more people sort of saying, like, yeah, like a second episode of the podcast would be great. Like, that's a fine format.
Yeah,
So we are going to make this one like
An hour and a half.
yes,
Free.
full featured, legs out, toes out.
Woo!
Awesome.
And then are we going to record a second podcast for the week as well?
Yep.
Yeah, we are.
Sweet.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So easy peasy. Mm-hmm. Now
You're welcome, by the way,
Wait,
because
wait.
it was all my idea.
True.
Before we move on, I don't read the comments very often. I actually try to stay away from them. But there was one that I saw that I really liked, and I want to shout it out. It was the person who said that my brain's like the SpongeBob's in SpongeBob's brain, trying
Fine
to
dining and breathing.
trying to find his own name, but it's
yeah.
for other people.
Right.
Yeah, running around like
And that's very true. That is how my brain. I don't know what it is. I think it's just like
Oh, that would be another really fun game to do with you. Is I've seen Northern Lion do it with like what's it called, Sporkle, where like you have to like line up a person's eyebrows to who the person is.
oh yeah,
or like several
No,
other
I'd
like
be
face
so
blind
bad at
shit.
that.
Yeah.
But it's not even just names and people. It's just things. Like
Yeah.
my brain, I'm not thinking about what I'm saying before I say it. So the amount of times like, and I've heard a lot of things and I try my best to regurgitate it, but sometimes it only comes out 60%. So it,
Right.
you know, so I just thought it was a very accurate comment and I laughed at it. I really liked it. So I wanted to shout it out.
Also, I'm trying to get better about this whenever I have like, whenever I just say shit that is inaccurate. I'm just going to look it up to make sure. Elvis Costello is actually not a part of a band. He's a solo artist. He's a
Okay.
songwriter more than a guitarist.
Okay.
So
Yep.
delete your comment correcting me.
Yeah.
Yeah. There,
Nice, I
that
like
was
that.
definitely coming.
Yeah.
And we appreciate the corrections. We like it. It's good.
Yeah, I think one of the more fun things about podcasts is that it's just bullshitting,
Yeah.
and we're not going to be accurate.
Yeah.
So it's not our fault. We're not trying to spread misinformation whenever we say stuff.
I do enjoy spreading misinformation on the internet.
Sort of depends.
Like, you know that image where it's like me after pulling away from the scene?
I like to start off where it's just me. yeah, I love that meme.
It's like the grandma
Yeah, I think
from
so.
the app, that weird app advertisement. That's literally me.
I'm just picturing some generic, like, driving away from the scene of the crime, or that little child who's got, like, the teeth out like this, and there's, like, a burning building behind her. Me when I spread misinformation.
But yeah, only when it's like not, you know,
Yeah.
I don't like to spread actual misinformation.
Right.
But sometimes it's kind of fun to say a little meme, you know.
Okay, so the main topic for today, it's an unusual main topic. It's not in the news. The main topic is movies. A specific
wanna
genre
take
and
two?
type of movies.
Take two?
No, I'm not gonna take two. I didn't fully think it out, but
Okay.
we're gonna get there.
Okay.
So there's this guy. I didn't know about him. His name's Jim Henson. Legit. You think I'm joking? I'm not joking.
I know. I think it's great.
It's amazing. He all of the bangers he was responsible for.
Okay.
What do you mean? All of are you just saying like Muppets? You like?
What?
Are you a fan of Muppets?
Fucking Labyrinth.
Okay.
Fucking
So he's the king of puppets.
Dark Crystal.
King of
Bear in the
puppets.
Big Blue House.
Never ending story?
Never ending story.
No. Okay,
Yes.
I like him now. I love Never Ending Story. The big dragon
It
dog.
just keeps going. The list kept going when I was
Okay.
reading it, and I was like, man, there's a quality to these films that I really enjoyed because of those fucking puppets, and they're kind of hard to match.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I haven't really seen much shit like a lot of these like older films. Like, the puppetry was so fucking good.
Yeah. Who's your favorite Muppet?
I don't know. I will say my favorite Muppet film was the one with the fucking pirate one where they're on a boat and they're like cabin fever shit.
I'll tell you my top 3 favorite Muppets.
Shoot.
Gonzo,
Pretty cool guy.
Animal,
Animal, pretty cool guy.
and the termite that's kind of Spanish and sexy.
I vaguely remember that.
What's his name? The termite that's kind of Spanish and sexy?
Gorbo.
Gorbo. Is that you making that up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck, Dane.
No, you shouldn't have asked because that would have been a great comment.
Yeah.
Someone like in-depth detailing what that character's like name and origin is.
I love him so much. Those are my 3 favorites
Okay.
by far.
Wasn't there? Oh, isn't there like a? I think I'm mixing up. I want to say there's like a big guy like this. Oh, yes.
Sam the Eagle.
And he's got like a droopy bulldog face. He's like,
Oh, that guy he scared the shit out of me.
That's pretty good.
yeah.
I hated that guy. He gave me literal nightmares.
Yeah.
He used to be like in my backyard hauling hay, and then I'd look out the window and he.
in our backyard hauling hay.
That's what he would do. And when I would look out the window, he would point at me with his fucking.
Wait, I think I missed the start of this. Are you saying this was a dream?
Yes.
Okay.
I had
I was like,
nightmares.
okay, nightmares. Okay.
No, that didn't really happen.
Yeah. Okay.
No, yeah, that didn't happen in real life.
Okay. I thought you were
Yeah.
saying it was a hallucination.
Jeff Letterman or whatever his name was, it was in my backyard using the Muppet to haul hay.
Jeff Letterman? Jim Gaffigan? I mean, Jim Henson? That's the guy. He's responsible. But yeah, such creative characters like, and dinosaurs as well. The dinosaurs.
Oh,
Yeah,
Like-
that was classic.
so good.
All of these ones that you were like, I mean, maybe I shouldn't say you, but I was always like, they had such a fucking like a valuable feel to them and an expensive feel. It's like I haven't seen anything like this. Of course, fucking from the legend.
Yeah.
That was a really stupid joke.
I consider him to be kind of like a Walt Disney of his medium. you know?
Yes. Yes.
And it is like a dead medium as well. You gotta also acknowledge that. Like they're not gonna do that ever again. There's
No.
no point. You know what I mean? It's kind of like traditional animation. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Disney's never gonna do traditional animation ever again. Unfortunately, it's
Well,
a
they
dead medium.
tried with
as
Wish,
far as I know.
kind of.
However, this actually brings me to the second half or the baby here. This brings me to
The
the
baby.
Okay.
So, how do I start thinking of this? Oh, I know. The baby. You've all seen this sort of shit. I'll play. There's some copyright-free music here, so I might have to pause it. So this is like one of those things where the face is animated. It's some AI bullshit.
Huh?
It's Elon Musk. You see the mouth is just kind of moving. It looks terrible. Okay.
It reminds me of those Balenciaga TikToks.
Yeah, it's the same sort of thing, right? Where they're all these AI generated things are like horrendous once you're like looking at like a moving picture, like a video. Their mouths kind of move. The jaws don't move. It's not very complex.
Sorry. I've been holding in the joke that I
What?
need to.
Go for it.
Do you know who's the modern Jim Henderson of our day?
My Henson.
Jim
Henderson.
Henderson.
Internet comment etiquette.
The guy who makes fleshlights.
Yeah. True. That's a good one, babe. That's a good one.
No, you didn't laugh. I think if I would have, timed
Awkward.
it better. I think if I would have timed it better, because I was trying to say like who makes good quality.
I know that's true because
know,
that is a modern day
silicone-
puppet, right?
Puppet
Yeah,
pussy.
Because it is a Muppet. Is that what you said?
yeah. We gotta save that though for the. Oh wait, no, there's no extended version.
No,
It's just another one. Yeah.
anyway, we can cut that out.
no,
I just
no,
thought it would be
it's
funny.
good.
No, it's funny.
But when I was watching those, I think I saw that like last one. This ugly thing.
I'm sorry to whoever that is maybe based off
That's
of.
not based on shit.
Oh,
They
it's based
fucking
off of
steal
someone.
art.
Yeah, but it's still based on someone
Yeah,
somewhere.
like an amalgamation of the top 10 most attractive females in Hollywood or some shit.
Sure. So sorry
Sorry
to
to
them.
those 10 anonymous females in Hollywood who are known to be attractive. So sorry for you.
The bottom teeth.
This is anyway, it's not good looking. The way that its fucking mouth moves and everything is repulsive.
Here, you want me to hit play for you?
Hello world, I'm Anna Indiana, an AI singer-songwriter.
Anna, Indiana.
Yeah. So when I was watching these, I was like, oh, I thought of the perfect use for this shitty AI mouth moving technology. And it happens to correspond with a lot of the like I guess what it would be like 90s, maybe 2000s, 80s, 90s movies, fantasy movies that I remember watching as a kid. And now I'm going to give you an example of some of the use cases. This is Labyrinth. You see these guys?
Yeah.
This is Harry Potter. This is Teapot from Beauty and the Beast.
And that's a baby.
I had more examples, but I didn't include them just for brevity.
So what did you do to those images to enhance them? I couldn't tell.
What, like this baby?
No, like the images at the end.
Oh, I didn't do anything. I just grabbed the fucking...
Oh, you're
They're
saying
just examples.
You're saying that it can be useful for expediting that animation style?
Yes, because I like that. I like these. Oh, another example. I don't think they did this in Alice in Wonderland, but you know, there's like the doorknob with the fucking face.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to do more of these, like, almost uncanny valley creatures in movies, like, the AI would be like a good shortcut for something that is in uncanny valley territory.
Talking animals.
Probably not talking animals, though, because they're not like a flat surface. Why these are so creepy is because they are photos.
Yeah.
And it's like bringing photos to life in movies in this way makes sense.
No,
Kind
it's
of like
true.
the Harry Potter one. It's like,
Yeah.
that one was, I think, maybe a bad example because they, I think, are...
That was like a literal
Real.
lady. That was
Yeah,
a woman
exactly.
filmed, and then they just put a filter on her.
Yeah. But I like the idea of them doing it in a more uncanny, gross
Yeah.
kind of way.
Like a horror.
Horror,
film.
yeah. Because
Okay.
a lot of these old films, I think the best example was the fucking Jim Henson talking door knocker
Doorknob.
things.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, they just look like really bad. I think they are just kind of bad CGI. And I think it's like the perfect application for something like that. It would
Yeah.
save a lot of time. And it's a fusing of what I fucking kind of hate about modern like shortcuts and like this cool style from the past that I want to see, come back.
Isn't that like what people are scared of specifically is like AI mouthing, like allowing actors to just say whatever the fuck the movie like wants them to say? So like they film and then they just like edit over their mouth.
Over the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the problem is like the good AI is like capable of just
I watched
taking
this.
over everything, but I would like to think that they're going to strike a balance.
Yeah.
Because something like that, or the example that I gave, I feel like that is just saving time for like potentially a dying medium or like an area that is, I don't know, worth penny pinching for or
I
something.
watched this like really fucked clip of like this actor or these two actors from like I think it was like Divergent or something like that, but like they made them say like different things in different languages and like swearing, no swearing, and you couldn't tell that it wasn't filmed that way. It was really realistic. It was kind of frightening, but they were talking about it being like the future of like so you don't have to watch dubbed films. It just can be in the language.
your language, yeah.
That is edited so it looks like the person's talking,
Yeah.
which is crazy, but the AI's like definitely there already. But cheap AI, it's just kind of interesting because I feel differently from you. I feel like it would be cool if we just went back to physical completely
And we
with
just
puppets.
did it. Yeah.
Like
I mean,
think
it's
that
worth.
would be cool.
It's totally worth the money and time that it takes, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I just know that it's like that is going to be the outlier, and it's not going to be the like industry standard or anything
Yeah.
like that. It would be cool if it was, but I think that's like a bit of a wishful thinking.
I'm with Anisa on that. I think that it should, I mean, ideally it should be done practically. And I think that could be said about most things. But in the movie making business, having the budget as low as possible so that you can bring in
Make
the most
money.
amount of profit is the name of the game. And this is like obviously going to be much cheaper to do, especially if you don't have to hire like an entire CGI workhouse to bring it to the point where it looks good. But what you're saying is that it stylistically would look good.
I think stylistically and that's why the examples that I gave were very kind of narrow, is because I actually think that it could just like look like that correct form of uncanny that everyone hates about this shit.
Yeah.
Is like there is an applicable use for that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And it is narrow. It's not, you wouldn't want to watch a whole film that looks like this.
Just one character that's kind of
a quirky
guy.
thing. Yeah, I think it would be appropriate.
And I think silly.
Yes.
Because there's actually kind of a good example of this already having been done with similar technology, or taking advantage of this kind of technology being like mass market and familiar to people. Have you ever heard of the movie Smile? It's a horror movie.
Yeah, it's a recent one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the horror movie, I think the queepy part of it is that everybody has like a queepy smile on their face, but it's basically just like, it's very clearly
AI
based off of like Snapchat filters that make your face like go crazy, make them look all creepy. They also did that in a movie called Truth or Dare, where every time that the Truth or Dare demon was possessing you, they would have the Snapchat smile filter on.
Oh.
And everybody was kind of clowning on it a little bit because it just kind of looks silly. But the intention was to make it look creepy. Because smiling.
Yeah.
So I think that if people used this technology to make it kind of look funny, then it might work.
Right.
But taking it too seriously, I think, because people know it so well from the weird Uncanny Valley AI videos, who probably wouldn't translate totally well.
Do you feel like Lord of the Rings was the last like major movie that tried to solve most problems physically?
No, I don't think so.
No. What modern film have you seen recently where you feel like
It's probably something like fucking Quentin Tarantino did or some shit.
Yeah, I guess Quentin Tarantino. Lighthouse too, right? A lot of that was...
Like one of these guys who's like obsessed with using old film.
Yeah. No, it's true.
And like not doing it digitally
Yeah.
is probably someone who is like, all right, and no special effects, no CGI.
I guess the reason why I asked that is because like Lord of the Rings to me feels very special, like precious.
Yes.
Physically.
Precious.
But
precious.
I've never seen a film after that I felt the same way about.
Well, what's going to blow your mind, actually, I think, is that a large majority of the Lord of the Rings films was actually done digitally.
Yeah.
But the way that they did it makes it look real because they used miniatures. They scanned in real things into the computer so that they could basically have like a template that worked really well. They shot the background plates were most of the time not on green screen. They were on real sets so that the people who were making the CGI elements had real like things to work off of, because that's actually an underrated part of making CGI work and look real, is that if you have real lighting to match your elements against, then it's going to help it look a lot more real. So it was actually just the combination of practical and special effects that made it look really well. The difference being with new movies is that they do most of them against green screens, and so the people who are in charge of making everything from scratch are kind of like, they're not really working with anything. They're just working with their imagination, and honestly, like, you can only really get so far with that.
I guess that's kind of what I meant by like solving the problem physically, though.
Yeah.
Because from what I've seen with everything with Lord of the Rings is like they wanted to use technology, but it wasn't good enough. So then they would have like physical help to make it good enough.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I feel like I don't see... It just doesn't feel like that happens a lot, but maybe I'm just not paying attention.
Well, it's because the people who are budgeting these films don't understand what helps make something look real. And we've gotten to a point, honestly, where even if it doesn't look real, audiences typically don't really care that
Yeah,
much.
that's true.
They're still going to see the movie.
I was gonna say, have you guys? When I was doing a little bit of research for this, I was reminded of a couple of childhood films that I watched. That I mean, obviously, I'm not watching these types of films as an adult, but I wonder if they're still around. And that is like the half anime, or I should say, like fucking 80-90% animated, but like it's a kid
like
going.
Space Jam.
Yeah, like Space Jam, like James and the Giant Peach, and like this other one that I really like. It's like a book. Fuck, what was it called? It's like a kid who goes into a fucking book world. It's
Yeah,
Macaulay Culkin.
The kid with the no, it
Yes.
wasn't Macaulay Culkin. He looked like him though.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I know when you're talking about
Page Master.
Page Master. Yeah.
Page Master. I love that film, and yeah, I just don't feel like that. Maybe that is just a thing of the '90s.
Well, pulling that off takes an incredible amount of coordination
Yeah.
and planning, and that's expensive. And a lot of people, I mean, you look at like the newest Space Jam, and it's really funny. They actually take a lot of shortcuts so that they don't have to have live action people and animated people in the same shots.
Wow.
There's a point in the movie where all of it's cartoon. There's a point in the movie where almost all of it is CGI. Like, and even the traditionally animated parts look kind of bad. It's almost like the people, they can't even find people who are good at it anymore because it's a dead medium, like I said.
Yeah.
You know, it's
That
sad.
makes sense. I used to love watching the Disney behind the scenes where they would paint on the like translucent, like the scenes.
Oh.
Crazy to watch all the hand painting.
I mean, in my opinion, the best movie to do it still is Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
That's because they went out of their way to like really coordinate everything. It's kind of crazy how
Yeah.
well it's. I mean, the behind the scenes stuff for that is insane.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow, there are so many films I didn't
In the
think,
90s, yeah.
about the Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That one was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have any of those like what do you call it? Just like the I guess out of the Jim Henson catalog that really
Never Ending
to you.
Story is always going to be really important.
well, I want to see it now that I know that
You've
he's
never
fucking
seen it?
part of it. No.
Oh man, the big crystals! I always wanted to eat them.
Wait, is that the one with the rat that goes
No, that's Princess Bride.
Okay.
But I wonder if he made that rat.
I don't think so. That rat looks kind of
It's
bad.
bad.
But that's why it's funny.
Yeah.
I know, but I feel like Jim Henson would make a better version of that.
But maybe
True.
they told me
They
to make
clearly
it bad.
just put like a little person in a suit and had him crawl around.
Oh, I didn't even think about that part.
Oh, you got to watch it back. It's so obvious whenever you realize that it's literally just they put a small person in there.
There,
crazy.
there's the eel puppets too.
The eel puppets look pretty solid. They look solid,
They
but
were
they're
scary.
the trick with all of that stuff is like don't show very much of it.
true.
And it looks good.
What is the fucking God? What is
Never
that?
Ending Story is the one with the big dog dragon.
Right. Love that.
Yeah.
Love the look of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that other Monty Python? Is Monty Python? Do they have like puppetry and creatures in that?
They have animated parts.
They've got a
Oh, animated.
guy with no legs and
They,
no arms.
they have like little. Well, I guess what would you call them? Bumpers that are animated, or they have
Okay.
they have some sections that are animated as a joke.
Okay. Oh yeah, I think that's why I have an association. I remember I haven't watched the movies, but I remember seeing this fucking hilarious YouTube clip of like a guy who's getting his fucking
Limbs
arms
cut off. Yeah.
and he's still like going.
Yeah.
That was scary.
Yeah.
Like if I saw that shit as a kid, I saw it as a teen. But if I saw that shit as a kid, that would have traumatized me.
Well, it's not a movie for kids.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's a comedy for adults.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was fun. I think I should go and rewatch that, or not rewatch it.
We
but
should watch
it.
that together or something. You know.
That'd be good.
Never Ending Story for sure, and Monty Python. And have you seen Princess Bride?
I have not. No.
It's so
I
good.
keep hearing about it from you.
It's so funny. I don't know. It's one of my favorite films.
We got to have movie church here.
Movie church.
Yeah. But to answer your question, Ian, I actually was never really into anything that Jim Henson made growing up. I saw Neverending Story. I saw Labyrinth. But I don't know. They just didn't really connect with me as a kid. I'm not really sure why. I appreciated them, especially as I grew up. And looking back on them, I can appreciate them. But
Right.
I just yeah, I think I was just kind of like passively interested in them as a kid.
Yeah. Well, I kind of compare it, I think, in a lot of ways to not Alice in Wonderland. What's the Dorothy one? Wizard of Oz.
Oh, yeah.
I went back and watched some of that, and like, man, it's still all the same as I remember it as a kid. The shit's creepy.
Yep.
In the same way that Labyrinth was creepy. Like, none of it I interpret it for kids, but I do like the premise of kids watching it because it is like, I don't know, I'm like kind of nostalgic about it, and it does feel different and interesting, and it is weird in a non-offensive way for kids.
Yeah. I loved not Alice in Wonderland. Now I'm doing it. Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Growing
You liked
up.
it?
Yeah, yeah. I loved the lion.
That is repulsive to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I was a weird kid.
Yeah.
I loved the lion. I thought he was awesome. I thought he was so sweet.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, as one of the examples that I was going to use was the wizard being projected on the screen at the end.
Oh, I love that. That was cool.
Yeah, when I went back and watched it, I was like, man, that is amazing.
Also the monkey things.
Yeah,
Those
the monkey
like monkey
things.
devil flying
Very
things.
crazy.
I loved those guys.
But for the Wizard of Oz, I didn't know how much like practical shit they used to kind of obscure how poorly the projection and shit and all of that looked. They used so much of this like red smoke that it was like constantly covering the wizard's face like the whole fucking time. And I didn't also realize how much like it was almost stage acting, and I didn't realize that at the time. And I kind of want to see it come back, the stage acting, because it does give you it. I mean, it would be used kind of like this in an uncanny way, where it's
Yeah.
like you don't have to do that, but it's used to make someone feel a bit uneasy or that this shit is weird. But like when they were in front of Oz, like the fucking I just fucked my chair. The lion would like stumble around and like move his body like really like gesturing with their hands like I'm so scared.
yeah, he was so good at that.
Yeah, but all of them would do that, and the shit was like, I don't know, it looked so different because of that.
Yeah. It's very stylistic. It felt very like play-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very much a play, and it makes sense why people would. Well, I guess why it still goes on, lives on as a play these days.
Ian, I had no idea that you were like excited about how movies were made.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Ian loves. Well, it's very funny. Dane, one day, like I said to Dane, I was like, "Yeah, we're thinking about one day, like trying to make a movie." And Dane looked at me like I had 3 heads. He was like, "What the fuck?" Because like Dane's a huge like movie, like you are the movie guy. Like you want to make a movie, and Ian has never told you that he wants to make a movie. So it came from me, and that was probably a very surprising thing. I just assumed you told
I think I'm
Dane.
just very like kind of all over the place,
That's
and my
true.
interests are very sometimes like kind of specialized, like what I'll like want to rabbit hole on.
Yeah. You really
I
like.
need to watch more movies. Is the thing.
You do need to watch more movies because you really enjoy it. It's just this is like you in a nutshell. Is if something seems like a commitment, you don't even want to like entertain the idea.
Well, as I was like looking up the stuff, I was like, what is exciting me about this is how they are made.
Yeah.
It is not necessarily like the movie or the story itself. Like that's cool. It needs to be good. I love that. But you know, seeing all these things, all these different elements, I was like, all right.
There are a lot of movies like that, and I can definitely recommend you a ton of those because those are also my favorite kind of movies. The movies that not only is the movie good, but the story of how they made the movie is also just as good and elevates the movie.
So cool.
Those movies are great, and it's sad because with the advent of like streaming and things like that, they don't really go out of their way to make special feature documentaries anymore, because they don't really expect to like have to like sell the DVD for that reason.
Right.
So newer movies, unfortunately, they don't really tell the story of how they made the movie as much these days. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
like I just recently got the Oppenheimer Blu-ray. and they don't even have like a director's commentary. They just have like about a 10-minute featurette that I've already seen on YouTube. It's like, I don't know. It's kind of like
That is
unfortunate.
sad.
But that doesn't really mean that, you can't go back and watch older movies and appreciate
Right.
the stories behind that,
Yeah, no, it is a great point, and like Dane has brought up to Anisa and I, like that is one of the things that he's passionate about is like old media, and like getting his hands on fucking DVDs and Blu-rays that have like content you wouldn't be able to find on YouTube.
It's super interesting because I am less. I think it's cool like how things are made or whatever, but for me, by far, like the thing that I value in movies is like the storytelling and the acting.
Yeah,
Right.
Everything else, I'm kind of like it's a bonus.
yeah,
But if the storytelling and acting isn't like,
yeah.
I just
There is that element where it's like it is. I don't know. I don't think it's a guy thing necessarily, but there are people who are attracted to the idea of like, oh, you did this fucking magic trick, and
Yeah.
that's like it's almost fourth wall breaking if
Yeah.
someone is interested and is like too interested in how they accomplished that.
yeah. There's like a lot of people who watch gore movies specifically because they're just so fascinated on how they were tricked. Like
Right.
how like I know there's because I remember when Terrifier came out and everybody was talking about it, and I was like kind of disturbed on how excited people were about
Right.
this film. And I wanted to like understand it, so I went into like forums to read people who are like passionately talking about Terrifier 2, and it seems like most people are just so amazed by like how some of these things are accomplished. And the magic that goes behind it, and that's kind of where the entertainment
Right.
comes from,
I could get that.
which is like cool, and I get that. I'm way too weak stomached to ever
like
watch that,
the
but
like interesting movie fact is the what was it? Chocolate syrup is used as blood in the one fucking Psycho movie
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever it's called.
yeah, because I learned that's one thing that I learned is that blood, the fake blood, as soon as it goes on paper or sheets or whatever, it dries pink.
Right.
So it's very obvious that it's fake. So a lot of like people that have to emulate blood in movies, they have to get super creative, which is kind of cool.
You have to make it a lot darker.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Terrifier example is great because a lot of horror movies, especially indie horror movies, are some of the only films that are made with the explicit goal of making most of it practical, because they know that a huge portion of that audience is interested in how it was done rather than the movie itself. Because I mean, Terrifier, I haven't seen it, but I know that it's like basically just like torture porn.
Yeah.
Clearly, like that movie wouldn't sell if the story behind making it or how they achieved the effects in the movie weren't as interesting. So it's almost kind of its own industry.
Yeah.
Making sure that the movie is interestingly made.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Is there a horror film that stands out to you as like a really like even if you don't necessarily think it's the best film ever made that you like appreciate for how it was made?
I think it's a really, really good movie in addition to what you're saying. So maybe it doesn't apply, but immediately I thought of The Thing. Have you ever seen The Thing?
Yes, I have.
The entire movie is analog. It's all done in camera.
Oh.
There's no CGI in the movie at all, and it all looks amazing. It holds up so well, and the movie is actually very scary because of it.
Yeah.
It's very creepy and weird and gross. It's disgusting.
That's cool.
But for all the right reasons. I mean, like, it looks amazing. The people that made the animatronics and all of the practical effects in that movie. And the movie's just really good. Great acting, great story. All of the characters are intelligent, which is like a big downside of a lot of horror movies, I think, is that they have to dumb down the characters a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Five Nights at Freddy's, but the like horror film, it just makes me sad because I don't think from what I saw that they did, it was like if they weren't really into like, it would have been cool if they would have made everything like animatronic and
I
like
think they did. I think
working and functioning?
I think a lot of it was like real animatronics.
Really?
I think so.
'Cause
I think I
people
saw some
were-
people talking about that.
Maybe, I think maybe people were just upset that a certain person wasn't in it because
Oh, Markiplier?
I think maybe, well, because every review I saw was like, it wasn't that good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people saying that it is really good, but I feel like you have to be a fan of the lore and like that kind of
get
thing.
it.
It's very much like a fan. What do you call it? Like fan service film.
Yeah. I didn't watch it at all. I'm hoping, I guess that's more so what I'm trying to say. I'm hoping for the sake of the fan base that they took that opportunity of doing
Right.
a lot of things analog and having animatronics and stuff. I'm hoping that for the sake of the fan base, they were able to get what they wanted out of that film.
There's got to be like a Five Nights at Freddy's expert in the comments that can
Yeah.
tell us. But I think I did hear that a lot of it was surprisingly practical.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't think that they skimped on, taking advantage of special effects when they could, though.
That makes me happy. I mean, the only thing I saw was just some reviews that I stumbled upon and people weren't happy, but I think they were specifically
It's
maybe-
polarizing
Yeah.
because in order to enjoy that kind of movie, you have to be a fan
Yeah.
of the thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's gonna be really hard for, if you're in charge of the Five Nights at Freddy's IP, to get the general public to just
Excited about it.
accept it and
Yeah.
excited for what the lore is.
Yeah,
yeah.
because there's
What
a
the
lot of
hell?
lore. I tried to get into it. I don't know why I'm into doing that, but I started just like reading Wikipedia fan pages or what is that called? The fan
Wiki
something.
Five Night Wiki.
Yeah, but-
probably.
but, like,
Wikia.
I would click on a different one and it would be like this baby doll made from the guy.
That's a bad way to consume the content.
Yeah, I was
for
very
sure.
confused. I tried
Just
for like
jumping
2 hours.
from article to article.
Honestly, your best bet is probably just watching a MatPat video.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Because I'm pretty sure that's how a lot of people found out about.
That's true. Because
lore.
I'm too scared to play the game.
That's a good idea. We should
So-
watch a Matt Pat Five Nights video.
Yeah.
Because the lore seems interesting. People are getting scooped.
Well, the game is like, it's just like a Screecher game.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what the genre is, but I mean, like, it's not really that complicated of a game. So I imagine all of the lore, basically, you kind of do have to learn about it via videos.
I don't know. I think there's puzzle solving and stuff in those games. Like I think there's like quite a bit of lore in the games.
Well, yeah, in the games, but I mean, like, as far as like learning about it,
Yeah.
it's not really it doesn't really seem like a storytelling kind of game. Seems more like a,
Yeah.
I don't know.
it's
I
gonna
could be talking about my ass. I've never played it either.
Fair. The one thing I find interesting about the Thing, I hadn't watched the movie. I played a game adaptation
Nice.
of the Thing before watching the movie.
Oh, you've seen the movie?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, great movie. But I think it made me appreciate and like the movie a lot more because I was like, this game's sick as fuck. Like, it was so cool. And it was an indie game for free. It was just some, like, fucking, I want to say it used, like, what is it, like the Half-Life engine or something. But it was all, like, in the Arctic. It had, like, the same kind of, like, enemy and the same kind of, like, problem and puzzle solving from, like, the movie from start to finish. And I think I didn't know that. And then Rad Jor told me because he was playing it as well. He was like, oh, yeah, this is the Thing. And I was like, oh, shit. So I went and watched the Thing.
Spoiled yourself
Yeah.
before you watched
A little.
But, yeah,
Yeah.
so good. And like, if I forget what it was called, but definitely a
So
dope game.
what is the Thing?
What do you mean?
What is it?
It's a movie. Or are you talking about the
The creature.
The
What's
creature?
The Thing.
It's an alien.
Okay. When was this made?
You want me to tell you the plot?
Yeah, I'm never gonna watch it.
No, you should watch it.
No.
I think you'd like it.
I think it'd be to be honest, it's like, it's not a gross, it's a very classy horror
Okay,
film.
I don't know about that.
Very classy.
It is kind of gross.
Yeah, I
but
can't.
it is well made. It's not like
That's
trying to
even worse.
it's not trying to shock you.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I'm never gonna watch it.
Okay, well, spoilers for The Thing. I mean, it's basically an entity from space, and it's basically, it doesn't really exist as a form. All it can do is absorb the form of other creatures and transform into basically exact replicas of stuff. And The plot of the movie is that there's like this Antarctica outpost out in the middle of nowhere, and basically like one thing leads to another, and the thing infiltrates their compound and is imitating one of them, and it's kind of like Among Us.
Oh, body snatchers among us.
Yeah. Where one of them or multiple of them is the thing, and they have to figure out who it is.
Okay.
And hijinks ensue, basically.
Okay.
It's much cooler than I think like the ones that are just like jump scare.
Yeah.
And what
Forward.
makes it cool, like as far as like the animatronics and the gore effects or whatever, is that whenever it transforms, it is basically a big pulpy bloody mess, and it looks
okay.
crazy.
The thing, I don't know. I have tried. I'm just a big baby. I watched The Strangers or whatever that's called. The one where he's like, they're like, why did you do this? And he's like, because you were home. Like, that fucking movie fucked me up. Still fucks me up to this day. I watched it when I was like 16 or something, 18. So like, it just like doesn't do good things for my brain. My brain like sits on it for a really long time. So I just try to avoid
Yeah.
those types of movies because I get paranoid and then I think that it's in my house.
But you're okay with thrillers.
No, because The Strangers, I mean, I'm okay with them, but
Okay.
You just don't like scary situations or in movies?
It's like, yeah, kind of, yeah. Like anything that I can like cook on.
Yeah, we'll have to create a spectrum, and you can like show us, like point to the area where it starts to become scary.
Yeah.
So like Samuel Jackson in that one Neighbors movie. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, that one's fine.
That one's fine?
Yeah.
Okay. He's just like freaking
He's
kind of
just
crazy.
Creepy.
What about Jurassic Park?
Oh, I love Jurassic Park.
See, that's interesting because I feel like that movie literally becomes like a horror monster movie halfway through.
Yeah, see, animals, like animal horror movies are special.
Oh, what about
The Thing is like an animal, though.
No, that's not.
there are
an animal.
animals in it.
No.
Kind of.
Like we watched that crocodile horror movie together. Like
Yeah.
animal horror movies, I'm fine with because I
It's a
know.
little too goofy.
Yeah, like animals.
What about I Am
Animals
Legend?
won't hurt me.
What about
I Am Legend? They have like a
That was
German
really
Shepherd
hard.
in there.
That was a really hard watch for me. I did watch it, but
Those are
The way
zomboids, though. Those aren't animals.
the way that those things run at people. Well, when I was a teen, I tried to be experimental and like force myself to watch horror movies. That's when I watched The Strangers or whatever as well. And that's how I kind of learned. So animal movies like the Anaconda, shark movie. I really like shark
I
movies.
wonder. That
But-
feels like a cool challenge, though. I like the
No.
idea. No, not for you. For me, the filmmaker.
Oh, okay.
Create a film that would fuck with someone like you
Yeah.
in the way that like it's not going to be a Sharknado. It's not going to be 23-foot long alligator.
Yeah.
It's something that's like vaguely believable and like exists or whatever.
Well, here's the thing about I want to explain like why animal horror movies don't bother me is like animals aren't sinister evil guys.
Mm-hmm.
If they're eating you because they're fucking hungry.
You're
and
just
you
part
were
of the food chain.
and you were in somewhere that you shouldn't have been, and they're not doing evil, sinister crap to you. It would be a brutal death, but it's not like intentional. Whereas like a lot of movies,
Oh,
where
I have an
sinister and
idea
intentional. Like I couldn't watch a gorilla horror movie or
then.
something.
Yes.
That I couldn't watch because that's
Okay.
You know what I
love it.
mean?
Monkeys.
But, like-
a lot of crazy monkeys.
Yeah.
They steal. Oh, I love that.
Planet of the Apes, you seen that?
No. Oh, that was, love Planet of the Apes.
I haven't seen Planet of the Apes. No.
Go. Okay. There's a family, an American family that goes on vacation,
Mm-hmm.
like Thailand or something. They decide they're going to do a long backpacking trip.
Mm-hmm.
They get their backpacks and they go out. They're like deep into the trail, like fucking 14 miles away from civilization, where they go to the monkey temple.
Mm-hmm.
They put their packs down and they go to fucking pray at the temple or whatever the fucking tourist thing they're doing. The monkeys come and they steal all of their shit, all of their supplies.
Yeah, I mean, I hate this already. It's evil.
The monkeys are
sinister.
digging through it,
Yeah.
eating all their freaking goldfish and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they have to get back. They're like, oh, fuck. but the monkeys are fucking with them the
Yeah,
whole way.
I hate that.
The monkeys, a bunch of them go down. This might be like the Jungle Book, and grab one of the kids and pull them up into the trees. I love that, and they eat them alive.
Jesus Christ. That's it. But see, like with Jurassic Park and all these other ones, it's like they're just fucking hungry. They're praying. They're doing their thing. It's not creepy.
True.
It's when it gets creepy.
Yeah, that is cool though. I like the
The intention is so important to you.
Very
I find that interesting.
Yeah.
Like if a murderer has intent to kill you, and that makes it scary to you,
Yeah.
but an animal doesn't have intent, and you're fine with that.
Yeah, it's not trying to fuck with you. It's just trying to eat.
yeah.
So, are you saying that you just get offended that like somebody is wanting to kill you, and that's what's scary?
It is kind of offensive.
Something
Yeah.
really disturbs me about somebody wanting to torture somebody in any way,
Right.
or an animal.
So you would like a horror film a little bit more, would be a little bit more palatable if it was like someone who was essentially like a big fucking Lenny out of it character who's like essentially like killing people but doing it on accident kind of me.
Well, it's just kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like it's just like some. I was like, whoopsies, and he's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
pushing people over cliffs and
Right.
stuff. I mean, that's just kind of.
Right. But it's too, if they don't see the consequence of like killing another person or creature, it's too close to psychopath territory where it's like you're
Yeah.
not feeling something.
Yeah, I think it just bothers me that there can be an entity out there that's enjoying ending lives and hurting things.
Right.
Like the enjoyment of it really deeply disturbs me, and I really don't like consuming.
How about the Terminator?
I've never seen the Terminator.
Oh, okay, because that's like 100% really not personal. It's just programmed to kill you.
Yeah, I saw iRobot.
You probably have a better time with that. Yeah.
I was fine with iRobot, and that's kind of like that. I think modern
Yeah, vaguely.
modern style.
Terminator's a little bit more on the nose with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really explored the why. The idea of torturing, like I think different things disturb different people. Like there's some people who can't stand when people mess with bodies after death. That's like some people's like really like their limit. My thing, and I don't understand how anybody can watch it, is like torture stuff, like Saw stuff and stuff.
Right.
It like makes me mad.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know how to describe it, but I can't even like begin to process why.
That's interesting. Yeah, because I definitely can watch the Saw
can.
stuff. It's
Yeah,
not my
I know.
favorite or anything.
But you're fine with. You've always like.
No, because I definitely wouldn't say that the Saw films are like good.
Yeah.
Like particularly because of what they've chosen to make the films about. Like I just think that's bad.
Yeah.
Like, it's not fun to watch. I think it more comes from like the twisted mind of
think-
so and so is making
I think Saw heads like
a
Saw
theory. Yeah, it's
for
like
the
what
same reason
if?
that Terrifier fans like Terrifier.
Yeah, I
it's
think
the
so.
special effects and the like. This is crazy how they came up with
the
this thing.
ideas. Yeah,
And some people want to be like I
it's
understand.
like a good outlet for someone who's got a sick fucking mind.
No, I think also some people just want to be scared, and that's what does
Right,
it for
the
them.
thrill.
That's
True,
what scares
that's
them.
true.
And but for some reason my brain is not like it's beyond being scared. It's like I'm like violently upset
Yeah,
and or
It's just
nauseous
sickening. Yeah,
at the same time. I don't have an in between. I'm either like not feeling anything or I'm like violently upset at what I'm seeing. So like there's nowhere that I sit on the spectrum where I'm like I enjoy that.
yeah.
But there's a lot of people, obviously, that like can sit on that spectrum and be like, "This is scaring me currently. This is terrifying, and I like it. I just don't."
Yeah.
The animals is where I can think that's scary,
right.
but like I'm not upset about it.
Right. I think my sweet spot is the ones that have like a little bit of a gimmick. Where there was that one with the fucking Jim Halpert who's got like creatures that have sound. They make sound.
Oh, we
Or you-
watched
Quiet
that
Place?
together.
Yeah.
A Quiet Place.
That, and then the other one where like the guy's blind in a cabin or whatever,
yeah, yeah.
house. Like those are things where it's like, okay, it's a little fucking potentially sick and twisted, but like the meme is different rather than like, the meme is torture.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
meme is
yeah.
a different flavor of torture each time.
Right. The meme with the Jim Halper one was like, oh, I hope we don't get caught.
Yeah. And it's just like a little quirk.
yeah, like
different
cops and
quirk.
robbers with your siblings.
Right.
Because that was scary, right?
Yes.
You're fucking like hiding somewhere and you hear the door open and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
fuck, it's my brother.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what A Quiet Place is.
Yeah,
It's like
it gave you that
recreating
vibe.
that feeling. Dane, what's your on the spectrum? Where do you like to sit for being scared?
So I find it interesting that you specifically are scared of intention. I'm actually scared of the opposite. I'm scared of the mysterious, like
Oh, the not knowing.
there being some sort of mystery behind why something is happening. I'm trying to think of like all my favorite horror movies that actually do scare me, that achieve the effect of scaring me, and it's all things like The Shining and Hereditary, and for the most part things like The Thing. I mean, like it's all the villain of those movies is just mysterious most of the time. It's just like the unknown is the scariest thing to me. Not knowing why something is nefarious, you know?
So maybe because I find that interesting that you're saying that, because when I see someone, like for example, like The Strangers, right, which is like two people fucking with, or a family fucking with two people in a house that end up, whatever, I'm not going to spoil it, but they fuck with people in the house. When I watch that, I don't know why they're doing that. And the mystery of, like, I can't understand it. And in the same way that you're talking about the mystery, like, it's there for me with that. And that upsets me because it's, like, real.
Right.
And it's,
I mean, I've never seen The Strangers, but you describing that to me does sound like a scary concept.
it's a scary, but, like, all of, like, anytime
But you're scared
there's,
for a
like,
different reason. You're scared because you're scared of someone,
intention.
someone being so malicious that they would just want
Yeah.
to torture any person ever.
But there's still no understanding with that. Like, I
No,
don't
that part
understand
of
why.
that part of it is scary to me.
You
though.
only understand that there is intent.
Yeah. But
Rather
like,
than, but it's still like, I don't know.
yeah.
you know.
Like,
I don't know
why?
psychologically.
Can't relate to it,
I don't know how they got to that point.
Yeah.
You know,
And
why
how-
are you
how
like that?
can. Yeah.
There's no backstory. Like the lack of a backstory often is what scares me for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you know what really fucking scared me? It made me vomit in the movie theater.
You
Was
vomited?
yeah, when I get really scared, I puke,
Whoa.
which I really don't like. When we were in I tried to watch Paranormal Activity, and there was that one scene where the door shuts really fast, and then you just hear rapid banging on the door.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know what about that bothered me so much, but it did. I puked into the popcorn bag because it was so fucking.
That's so,
Scary.
like, man, that's got to be a fucking badge of honor for the horror filmmakers.
Because it wasn't even gore.
Yeah.
I didn't even. It was like the jump scare.
Just made you vomit.
Yeah.
Like, you know that
You're so
feeling
sick.
you get in
Someone's
your
watching
stomach?
your horror film. You just have like a little quirky thing, and someone's like, "Ugh."
Well, like, do you know that feeling that you get when you get really scared and it's like a jolt in your
kind of,
Stomach?
yeah. I think.
yeah,
so.
yeah.
So it's that, but it just keeps coming.
Right.
Like, you've never had that
Crazy.
before?
No.
Like a scare so bad that like it.
Uh-uh.
Oh, well, that happened to me. So.
Why?
Yeah, I've never puked from fear, but yeah, I agree that gore honestly doesn't really scare me that much because it is relatively familiar. You're like, oh, I've seen
Gore
seen
makes
gore.
me faint so bad. So bad. That doesn't, but gore makes me faint.
I kind of like that. Gore makes me faint so bad.
I really faint. Like I faint real good.
But I'm one of those people where like I'll look at there was this one, I was playing hockey and this kid got his ankle stepped on by another kid's skate, and I was on the bench, and the kid gets pulled off, right, and the trainer says to me, she looks at me and she goes, "Don't look at it." So what do? I fucking look at it.
Yeah.
And I fainted. And then the other kid, apparently, because I woke up and the other kids fainted. So I guess the kid, after I fainted, looked at it and he fainted.
That's so cool.
You tell someone not to
Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was bad. So I've learned that about myself.
Man, that's
Don't look
crazy.
at it.
Yeah, I think, man, it's crazy. I think there is like some more of that real life. What would it be? I don't know if I've seen, because you actually have to watch like IRL gore live leak stuff. I think to have like some understanding of like how that would like how to replicate that in a film.
Yeah. Probably like I wonder how many of them sit in on surgeries and stuff.
Oh man, that's
Because
crazy.
They probably I
Yeah.
know that they can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like my uncle when he was like he was a surgeon, a knee surgeon, for students that were considering going in, he would have them like go
Right.
and watch or whatever.
Well, I was just thinking in terms of like really graphic CCTV footage of
Yeah.
things happening, and they're almost I think when you watch those, a lot of them just seem kind of fake because you're like, oh, we're so used to seeing the graphic violence on TV and movies, and they like know that you have to overdo it. You have to put in like the sound effects of the gun and like blood spurting and all sorts of shit to make it like convincing to people and to make it dramatic and like a good watch. But like a lot of, I think the really proper like gore shit is like not that. It's like very
Yeah, it's like understanding how the body. I think it's just understanding how the body like actually works.
Yeah. True.
Which like medically you because like like there's a lot of people who are like, oh, if you got your neck slashed, it would like pump blood everywhere because you have the artery or whatever. But like obviously there's limitations to how.
I guess now that I'm thinking about it, I think horror movies and I don't know, even the Quentin Tarantino types or whatever, like they have gotten a little bit more accurate and less dramatic.
Yeah,
with
but I always liked
things
that.
over
No,
time.
I've always
Oh,
liked
maybe not Quentin Tarantino.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's a bad example.
because Quentin Tarantino loves to ham
Right.
everything up out
No,
the
no.
ass.
You're right.
And I actually appreciate it when
I
they
do
do
too.
that because it makes it a little easier to watch because it's not so realistic.
Yeah,
You
it's
can
less
kind
real.
of have a bit of a disconnect.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I wonder. I would like to ask someone that like makes films like that. Like, how do you do your research? Like, where do you go?
Oh, they probably just watch real gore videos.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. I mean, it's very accessible.
That would be so hard,
You'd be surprised. There's a lot of people who will find it very easy to watch that stuff.
man. I was actually watching this murder mystery where they were interviewing this kid who like ended up doing some heinous shit, and they were talking about how on his Tumblr he had this fascination for gore, and one of the top comments was a guy who was like, it's so fascinating to see the other side of this coin because I was fascinated with gore as a kid and I became an EMT because of it.
Oh.
And I was just thinking about that. I was like, holy shit.
Right.
That is what if you are one of these people who can like watch gore or you're fascinated by gore, how the body works, that is what you spec into.
Right.
It's like EMT shit.
That is cool.
So I
Yeah,
just
or
thought that
being
was like
any
neat.
kind of doctor. I mean, yeah. That's I think
Nurse.
that when somebody says like, "Oh, I watch like gore videos or whatever," it doesn't necessarily freak me out immediately. I mean, obviously the intention is important.
Yeah.
Because there are just some people who can handle it.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people, but it's whatever. It's just how your brain is.
That's why you're not a doctor, Dane.
Exactly. I could never be a doctor or any kind of like body like.
No, I
person.
couldn't either. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
What
gotten
about
worse.
Just creeps me out.
like
Yeah.
a mortuary person?
Dead bodies, sure. I mean, they're
Yeah.
not going to do anything. They're not going to jump out at you.
That's actually fine
Is
for
it kind of
me.
skeevy though?
No.
No.
It's so the thing for
calming.
me is
No responsibility.
the reason why gore bothers me so much is because I feel like I know what it could feel like.
Right, a little bit of
Yeah, it's associated with
that way.
pain, and I think
Yeah.
your brain just automatically says, that's not good.
I just don't like it. But if they're dead and I was doing something like trying to make sure that they looked the way that they wish to look while being buried, that feels like self-care. Like I'm caring for
Right.
them after death. And that wouldn't bother me.
That makes sense.
But it's a good question because I never really thought about that.
It's also just not like, to be honest, like a super urgent thing.
Yeah.
Like the whole like dealing with dead bodies. It's like you're kind of past all of the, urgent, terrifying
Yeah.
parts of it. I don't know. In
They're
my
not
mind.
suffering.
Yeah.
You know? So
It's just a little bit spooky, creepy.
It's
It's
so
like being in a
crazy.
graveyard.
even talking about this is making me queasy. I think my whatever from after I've noticed since fainting while taking blood, my sensitivity to like fainting is like through the roof.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
even
you
just-
just kind of get a little bit more. You're a little bit more cognizant of it. It's
Maybe.
like, oh, maybe a little bit more lightheaded. A little
Yeah.
bit more. Oh, this is something
Yeah, like feeling
Yeah.
queasy,
interesting.
which is interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, Ian, if you ever want some movie recommendations, you know who to ask.
Oh yeah.
Because I love that kind of thing.
Okay.
Man, this has become the movie podcast.
Well, it's good. I think.
I'm cool with it.
To be honest, I was like last night when I was looking at some of these Jim Henson things. Like there's one that I forget what it was called, but I really want to watch it. It was of the same kind of vibe as Labyrinth, The Dark Crystal, some shit like that.
Yeah, there's a Dark Crystal show on Netflix, I think.
Really
Yeah.
interesting.
They like weirdly decided to revive it.
That's so crazy.
Well, it's a cool thing about like that's one of the positives of streaming, I think, is like it's opened this avenue for like niche things to get funded. And that's one of the things I think.
True.
Closes
Yeah.
them down so fast too, though. I really want to see how Glow ended, and I never will.
Oh, lame.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll never see how House of Cards ended, so.
That sucks.
Was that related to like him being a fucking weirdo?
Yeah.
Aw.
I mean, like, it did.
Kevin
I think it did end, technically. It just didn't end, obviously, the way that the showrunners wanted it to.
Okay.
He died in a fiery car wreck
Yeah, off screen.
off screen. No one
It's
saw it.
pretty funny.
Really?
No, I made that
Okay.
up.
No, that he literally dies off screen.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I assumed that they killed him off
right.
because that's usually what they'll. Wasn't there? There was a show where they replaced the main character, and it was like a completely
love when they
different
do
guy,
that.
and they didn't even say anything about it. It was a Viking show, I think. My mom was watching it.
Oh.
And, like, a new
might be
season.
called Vikings.
Yeah, I think it might be called that.
Yeah.
I've heard of Vikings as a show, right?
And I'm not, maybe somebody in the comments knows, but it was one of those shows where like my mom was watching it, and then the next season it was just like a different dude
Yeah.
playing the same character.
I don't know why the Dumbledore one stands out to me from Harry Potter. Like they switched Dumbledore out on like the third one or something like
For
that.
what I think was a worse version of Dumbledore.
Yeah.
I'm
No
facing-
offense to
died.
Michael Gambon. Yeah, he did
Okay.
die, but I just think Michael Gambon was a worse Dumbledore. I'm a fan of the series. I think that his name's Richard Harris or something. I might be wrong. Richard Harris was way better.
This is the first time I'm learning that there was a different Dumbledore.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't have really noticed.
Face blind.
I had no clue, but
Yeah.
well, that's sad.
He was old. He was an old
Also, just
old
don't.
bitch.
Yeah, like when they do flashback shit and they just miss the mark on matching what like a younger character would look like.
Yeah.
So big
Man.
annoyance of mine.
Cast members passing in the middle. One of those really, it was like one of my first, maybe it wasn't one of my, no, it wasn't one of my first experiences with a loss, but it was really hard as a kid. I feel really bad. 8 Simple Rules. That was the first time I ever saw, who's the actress who plays Penny? Her name is,
I've never seen 8 Simple
I've
Rules.
never seen that.
who plays Penny from, oh my God, my brain is fried. Penny from,
Penny from the Block.
no, Big Bang Theory.
Oh, I don't know. I've never seen that.
Her name is,
Saw that.
anyways, it was her breakthrough role was 8
I
Simple
see.
Rules. And
Simple rules.
the
58% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I had a
Hell
big crush on her character in that one, and I loved that show. And the dad was very comforting to me. They made a really good dad character, and the actor passed suddenly, and they had to like write an ending kind of.
Oh.
Quickly.
Explaining
And
that.
I think they wrote. I'm not actually 100% sure, but my memory, because I watched that when I was very young, my memory tells me that they wrote that he actually died in the show.
Oh.
And it was
interesting.
yeah, so it's interesting how shows handle that stuff, but yeah, the actor passed in real life, and they that's what they did. So different choices. Kevin Spacey dies in a big fiery explosion.
Man, that'd be so fucking. It's so selfish.
He didn't.
as a
Casey.
fucking,
He didn't die. Kevin Spacey. He didn't die.
Not
In
for
real
reals.
life.
Not for reals.
I was just kind of sorry. I just wanted
Clarifying
to
it. No,
clarify.
that's fair.
He did not die.
But yeah, having one of your fucking premium actors fucking either kick the bucket or do something weird.
Well,
in some
I had
trouble.
heard that Justin Roiland's replacement is actually very good.
Well,
Oh.
that's not a hard. I feel like
Wait.
everyone.
Justin, but for the fucking like Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Oh, but he's just like fucking voicing him, right?
right. But I mean, I've heard that the voice
Is solid.
is solid, like for both Rick and Morty.
Oh shit. Oh, he did both.
Justin Roiland did both. Yeah.
Okay.
He did a bunch of characters.
Yeah. Lemon grab.
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Wait, did you watch Adventure Time?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It came out like I was like 19. I was like kind of the perfect age to watch it.
Man, I didn't know you were an Adventure Time head.
I mean, I'm not an Adventure Time head. I just saw the show. I watched all of it.
Who's your
If you
favorite
saw the
princess?
show, your head.
Who's your favorite
Not really.
princess?
I've watched entire shows that I've forgotten. I've watched all of Avatar: Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra, and I remember absolutely nothing about those shows.
Oh.
I wouldn't call myself an Avatar head, though.
Oh, I was simply joking.
Oh, but I mean, I think it's fair to bring up that like you can watch an
No,
entire
you're true.
TV
No, that's
show.
true.
It doesn't mean you're a big fan of it. But I liked what I saw of Adventure Time. There are a couple standout parts.
They're continuing it on. They have like
Yeah?
the pre, like they're explaining the lore of like the Ice King and shit now. And there's
Nice.
Cake and Fiona, which is the alternate, and apparently Cake and Fiona is super good. So
like a spinoff.
it's the alternate universe thing.
Oh, right, the
Yeah.
gender bender
Yeah,
thing.
gender bender. So
Bender is the voice of the dog.
yes, yeah.
I was gonna ask you guys if you are aware of any like modern like good children's movies that are coming out or that have come out.
That are oh.
Why do they keep making Trolls movies?
That's a confusing one.
I mean, we're not babies, so
That's also
it's hard to
true.
tell. It's honestly hard to tell what's popular
Yeah,
among that group of people, obviously.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I mean, also Hotel Transylvania. That's another one that came out, and they did a second one, maybe a third one.
Yeah, I've never seen those.
Oh, I want to clarify. I think Cake and Fiona is the pre explanation of. I think that's the same show.
Okay.
I want to.
Thank you for that clarification.
I think what happened was they did like a special episode.
Yeah, and then
And then everybody was like, "Oh, I loved it.
they
Make
did
more."
do the gender bender episode in the
Yeah.
No.
in Adventure Time.
Oh, one thing I want to talk about. Last episode was the New Year's episode of this podcast, and something I didn't bring up was the whole ball dropping thing.
Oh yeah.
I did not realize these stupid motherfuckers go out on New Year's Eve and stand in the freezing cold in New York for 18 hours or some shit, waiting for the ball to drop.
Also, what's with the ball? Isn't balls dropping like puberty?
Yeah.
Why are we?
I don't know. It's
What's
stupid.
Where does it come from?
I
What's the
don't-
etymology of that?
Yeah, fucking tell us in the comments. We'll read it next time.
Oh, you should look up the lore of ball
I
dropping.
mean, I will at some point.
So the ball dropping is a symbolic thing. It's not really supposed to be that cool to see. I think it's just a communal thing. You just go out and you count down with everybody.
Doesn't everybody get loaded? Doesn't that guy Anderson Cooper get loaded?
Yeah, he does.
And he
Yeah.
says crazy crap.
Everybody gets drunk and they start making out and
yeah.
Really?
throwing things.
Man, American media is so unserious.
Yes.
Like the fact that this guy who's like isn't he like a news guy?
Proper news guy, yeah.
Anderson
That's-
Cooper, yeah.
Insane to me.
Yeah.
Well, to
that,
be
like-
clear, he doesn't actually make out with anyone. I'm just saying generally
I've
people
seen
do that.
him gets very out of pocket at these New Year's.
I have a
things.
feeling he's closeted. I don't know why.
Wait, I thought
no,
he was
he's
gay.
fully gay.
Oh, well,
just
then I was
gay.
right.
Yeah, you were right.
I genuinely didn't know he was gay. I was just like, I think he might be gay.
Yeah.
Closeted Dane's closet.
Yeah.
I'm actually I'm the most closeted gay person you'll meet. I'll never admit I'm gay.
That's the best Norm Macdonald joke.
It is.
I love that Norm Macdonald joke.
Oh yeah, but it's insane, and I was thinking to myself, like, what is something that I'd wait an unreasonable amount of time for that is also that stupid and like inconsequential. And I came up with like a category of things.
Okay.
I'm wondering if you guys are on the same page. Some type of like rare animal sighting
100%.
that's like, oh, it's the Chuffy Wuffy. It only shows up at this time. And it does like maybe like a mating dance or something like that.
That'd be
There's
cool.
only 3 of these birds in the world, and here's its crazy mating dance. I'd be like, I'll wait in the fucking cold in New York City, wearing a Depends, waiting for that shit to happen. So you agree with that?
100%.
So you're saying that that's the only thing you would wait for?
That's
Yeah.
one.
The other one was
Wait, before you move on, you're from Oceanside.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever been whale watching?
Yeah.
Okay, so
We tried to
You've done it.
Onion Run.
you've
I
done
have.
it. I've
Yeah.
been whale watching too. It's actually quite nice.
Yeah. But that's not. I'm saying something that you'd actually have to wait for 18
Well,
hours
whale
to
watching
see it
is
happen.
You do have to wait a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes you don't.
Sometimes you don't even see the whale.
Okay, I've gotten lucky then, I
Yeah,
guess. Okay.
Well, I think it's easier with the whales because the whales are like smart and they're just like, oh, if we go over here,
Yeah, if we breathe on these humans,
Yeah.
they'll like it.
they'll yeah.
The other one that I really like that I think I saw when I was younger, but I didn't realize how cool it was, is corpse flower.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to add some more,
Uh-huh.
like apt, or no, I don't know if apt's the word, but I'd like to add, if you were running a marathon,
Uh-huh.
I would stand out there and I'd stand in different areas and just wait for you to run by, and then I'd freaking go to the next one. And I'd
Right, but
stand
that's a
there.
bit more active. I like that.
Yeah, but you have to wait
Yeah.
quite a while
You do have
sometimes.
to wait, right?
So that one, or I'd wait at the
Oh
finish
yeah, like
line.
maybe for your like at the Olympics, Summer
Yeah.
Olympics, your fucking
Winter Olympics.
your acquaintance.
Yeah.
Your acquaintance is there, and your acquaintance is doing the fucking triathlon.
Yeah,
It's
you'd
like,
wait the
all
whole
right.
thing.
But not if you're like a fan of the sport.
No.
No.
Like I wouldn't wait on the side of the
You're just a big fan of
yeah.
cycling, and you're just like, man, look at these.
But that's always better to watch
Bikes
on
going.
TV, period.
Yeah, true.
If you're a
course.
fan of a sport, it's always better to watch it on the TV. Unless you like the atmosphere,
yeah.
which totally valid. I get it. I like the atmosphere of lacrosse games, hockey games.
It
We
feels
haven't
good
been
when
to a football
you're,
game.
like,
Or if you have good seats.
Yeah.
'Cause that's another thing.
True.
Is like you can get really terrible seats and the atmosphere doesn't matter at that point.
True. That's true. Well, sometimes it does.
But I kind of feel like for fucking Summer Olympics in some shitty city, like the best seat you can get is like literally like a floating drone that puts you over the action the whole time.
Well, I'm even talking about just going to like if you went to a basketball game, you got nosebleed seats,
Right.
and you can't even really see the
True.
monitor
That
on the
is
front of
shit.
in the middle of the court.
I
You can't even watch the game.
I grew up. My dad would get us the $15 nosebleed seats, and we were happy. I liked it.
because of the atmosphere.
I liked
Well,
the
because you were
atmosphere.
hanging out with your dad.
Yeah, and I like to be at the sporting event and cheering.
and you had a big bucket of pretzels.
Well, I'll tell you
Yeah.
this: I could have the best seats ever for a baseball game, and I would never go there by myself.
I mean, that's valid.
Why would anyone want to do that?
Counter argument: the food that they have at the Mariners games, the options are insane.
Same.
So I'm just
You go
saying.
there for the food?
I would. They've got crazy shit there. They have like fucking ramen and shit now.
Okay, maybe for the Dippin' Dots.
Yeah. Well,
Good point, Dane.
so I would do it if it was like a marathon. I would wait.
Okay, that's fair.
The other thing I would wait for, and I miss so much, is waiting for a game or a console in line.
Okay.
I miss
Yeah,
that.
that's a good one.
I do
like
kind
that.
of miss waiting in line outside of GameStop for stuff.
So I think that's still kind of a possibility if there's like a special edition for a thing.
They still do it. It's just kind of not.
Doesn't make
It's
cool
kind of
anymore,
pointless
yeah.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's also weird, I suppose.
Yeah. They also just have switched it because it's a hassle for them. So if anything can be like a digital, buy it ahead of time. Like just give us your free money and we don't have to do the
Yeah.
work. I think I have one that you're going to disagree with, but maybe some people in the comments, maybe Dane will agree with it.
Okay.
Waiting for like a very special, rare astrological event, like a full blood eclipse moon.
Yeah, I disagree, but I get why people do.
Yeah.
How about you, Dane?
Depends on what it is. Like for an eclipse, it depends on what kind of eclipse.
Yeah.
Solar eclipse? Sure.
I like
Lunar eclipse? Not really. I don't care.
when I look up randomly and I see a shooting star and I was like, that was for me. And then I go back. It's only happened to me once,
Yeah.
but that's special. If everyone looks up and there's a
No,
bunch of shooting stars.
It's more of like going to the ideal location to get the best view.
Yeah.
And it's like Dane said, lunar eclipse, whatever, solar eclipse, but like the reason I phrased it in such a way of like blood moon eclipse thing is like there's a lot of those ones that are a little bit more rare and weird that aren't necessarily the event. It's like it's a combination of things, like the Northern Lights as well.
I was going to we should do the Northern Lights.
I feel like taking a trip and going to the specific location that's going to give you the best view and it's going to rock your world. I like that.
Well, for that kind of stuff, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. You know that.
True.
That's true. The Northern Lights, my sister said that there's a very specific place that like they camp that we could go to because we should.
I like you said they camp. I was envisioning the Northern Lights camping out.
Oh, there was one time I was walking home from school because in Edmonton it gets really dark at 4:35 when you're walking home from school, and I like looked up. I don't know why. I just decided to look up, and right over top of my house, I could see the Northern Lights. I've never been able to see that before. It was so cool. But that one's worth it.
Right. I really need to do the Grunion Run.
Yeah, the Grunion Run.
I want to make a video on Grunion Run.
Oh, yeah. Remember, Ian, when we were considering making like a road trip video where we were going to drive from like California all the way to, I think, Texas to watch one of the rockets get launched from SpaceX?
Oh, yeah, true.
That scared the shit out of me when we saw that.
Yeah.
The rocket, remember we walked outside and nobody warned us that was happening.
You're just talking about seeing it in the sky.
In the sky.
Yeah.
It looked all fucked.
Yeah.
You thought it was a missile?
Yeah, it was just a weird thing. It was the right time in like Southern California where you kind of, it was like everyone was tweeting about it in LA.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. But I mean, like the whole point of going to see the rocket launch.
Right.
I mean, the idea was road trip.
Yep.
It wasn't really like
True.
If we lived in that city, like we wouldn't do it.
No, that's true. That's a good point. I think the Grunion Run, maybe a Grunion Run road trip.
Oh, that's another one I want to do.
Can you explain what Grunion Run is?
Oh, true.
Yeah, it's when there's like a full moon and a bunch of these fish, small fish about the size of like sardines or anchovies, they beach themselves and plant their eggs in the sand.
They like bury.
They bury their eggs in the sand.
Man, that's some Animal Crossing shit.
It is crazy. And it lasts, I don't know, an hour, a couple hours.
They're silver too, so it's very
you can see, when you have a flashlight, a good Grunion Run, the whole fucking beach is silver. It's crazy looking.
That would be awesome. Yeah, you should do that.
Yeah.
I'd love to. But the other one was fucking crows and birds. I specifically want to do it with the crows, I think. They have roosts and they fucking go and they nest and they go crazy in particular areas, migration type shit. I don't know what the thing is, but I think there's an area in like Bothell, I want to say it is, in Washington, where they all gather. And I want to go to an area where all the crows gather and fucking like camp
Our
out.
boxing coach was like raving about it once. He was talking about how like fucking creepy it is and cool it is, and now I want to go.
Yeah.
I've tried because I now know that crows are listening to us. I read this article that like crows like listen to us and listen to our conversations, like they're not dumb. I try to be nice to them now. Like I was always nice, but now I'm trying to vocally
make it clear.
I'm safe.
I think you're pretty.
Yeah, I will compliment them.
She does walk past and say, "You're so pretty. You're so cute."
I try to compliment them because I want them to know that I'm safe.
Yeah. And I flip him the bird.
He's ruder to them because they were getting into our trash can, and Ian really wanted to let them know that wasn't okay.
Dude, I posted
So,
up on them. I
yeah.
walked over. There were 3 of them digging out of our trash
Yeah.
can before the trash truck showed up. And I was like,
Yeah.
puffing out my chest. I walked up to it. I looked at them because they flew up to the fucking telephone line. I'm like,
Yeah, he gave them the finger, and then he flexed on them.
Yeah.
And they were like, "What the hell?
yeah.
Is he talking to us?"
I mean, I think the message probably got across to him.
Probably.
they
They probably
get
did. But yeah, I try to be nice to all the crows because apparently they're listening. Oh, also, I heard that we're talking to whales now again. So
nice.
we sent out a greeting to a pod of whales, and one of the whales came over and greeted us back. And then we just spammed hello over and over again. And the
I love that idea. We
whale
only
was
know
like,
hello
what the-
right
yeah.
now. Yeah.
But it's apparently it was a big success. So now they're going to try to. Also with AI learning, they're going to be able to decipher more.
Yeah.
That's what they were saying.
That's cool.
So.
I like that.
Oh, and they want to talk to crows too.
Oh, I was going to say, though, we should try to schedule a time to go and see a blooming of the corpse plant,
Where is it?
corpse flower. They have a ton of them all over the place.
Okay.
But it's every, I think they said 7 to 10 years, something like that. But I think there was a Botanical Garden of America or something. They almost have one going off every year because they have enough of the flowers
Yeah.
to do that.
We should go make a
it that
video out of that.
Well, it's not particularly exciting.
That's why it's funny though.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
they're
true,
really trying to
true.
make it. It's kind of like a Ted Nivison
Right,
thing.
right. Well, yeah,
know?
it's an interest. If I have interest in it, then
Yeah.
it will be.
I mean, one of my favorite videos you've made is the one where you just go and try and find a specific squirrel.
Yeah.
Mm.
People love.
Where you just in half that video, you weren't even really looking for squirrels. You were just hanging out with Anisa and
True.
farting around.
Yeah. People really like the
Yeah.
squirrel videos.
Yeah, I should lean into that more.
We still have to put out the nut rat video.
I know. All right, I think that'll do it for this episode of the POD. An hour and 30?
SRMC.
See?
90 minutes.
Woohoo!
It's so what this means is this is going to be all over the internet. It's going to be on Spotify, the other platforms, and if you want
The other episode,
that's going to be only available on Patreon. But this is the full-blooded thing. Get it while it's hot.
Blooded.
It's mug-blooded.
Oh, do you like Ian's shirt, everybody? Everybody compliment Ian's shirt. We thrifted it yesterday.
Yeah, by the way, you know what this means? We're no longer Season of the Gains.
Season of the drip.
Season of the Flames.
Oh, nice. But yeah, okay, now we can end the podcast.
All right.
Hasta la vista.
Later, Gators.